Welcome back to Alphablocked. I've been doing a little bit of fletching and farming. And by a little bit, I of course mean 10,000 maple longbows U, getting us to level 70 fletching, and oak and jute to 31 farming. If we take a look at all the maple longbows and jute, they've got a value of over 1 million gold. So that's pretty good. It's been a highly profitable endeavor. There is one problem, though. If we look here in our bank, it's an empty plant pot. That is a thing. It starts with E, and we have not unlocked it yet. So what that's going to mean is we cannot make use of our high level in farming or anything that it may grant us until we have unlocked the plant pot here. If we had done this perfectly, we would have only been able to farm jute at this point, and not the bunch of oak saplings that we managed to use. We managed to skip full plant pots and acorns and the unwatered pot and the watered pot, but we didn't get to skip empty plant pot. So until that's done, no more farming oaks. In fact, we're going to go put our farming supplies away even. Because we've got stuff to do now. First up today, a quest. The quest in question, a Soul's Bane. Very few items required for this quest. In fact, it's basically just 2. You would want to have a rope to get down into the dungeon, and 1 more item. So let's go unlock that. Technically, the anti-poison isn't necessary, but we've got it, so we might as well make use of it. There we go. Used our rope to get into the rift. And it's the anger zone. We got angry bears and angry other things. So we just need to work our way through this quest, fighting things, mostly normally. But this first room is why we needed to wait until we got to this point. In order to progress, we need to use anger weapons. So let's scope out anger room, see what we're working with. Looks to be just 1 of each of them. So I guess it doesn't matter which we pick. I'm going to go with the angry sword to fight the angry unicorn. So that means the anger sword is our unlock for this round. Now, to finish this, we need to finish filling the rage bar. Ah, we should have done bears. Where's this? Is the second bear always here? Should have done bears. This would be 2 times quicker. So now what we need to do, since we managed to miss the second bear somehow, is we need to wait for the unicorn to respawn. Like, a lot of times. Ah. Should have went with the spear. Should have went with the spear. So, this plan should work as long as the unicorn respawns. And it should. And as long as it's always a unicorn. Which seems to be the case from what I've managed to research. But we just get to wait around. Definitely should have focused on the bears. Unicorn. There's a goblin, a rat, and 2 bears. And then the 1 unicorn. Unicorn. This only works if the unicorn comes back. Typically, you would not spend this much time doing this portion of a Soul's Bane. Since if you're not locked to such silly requirements, you can just go grab a different weapon and fight all the things. My goodness, the respawn on this. Did it respawn as a bear? Is that how this works? Hello? Unicorn? Alright. If it respawned as a bear, that's problematic. There's 4 monsters in here. This is taking a long time. I'm thinking it might not be coming back as a unicorn. Yeah, I probably would have saw 2 bears. There's probably just 1 of each. Okay. So that makes this more difficult, I think. This might mean we need to get lucky, having it respawn as a unicorn like 8 times in a row. Could be problematic. Oh, we're out of run now. That's good. Well, we've unlocked the sword. So I'm going to leave and come back and see if this is always how it works. With any luck, we might be able to figure out how to make this work better. I don't mind starting again. Yes. Climb down. The rage bar is empty. There's only the 1 bear. Oh. Okay. So. If we need to get to respawn as a unicorn every time, that could be problems. I mean, it is problems. That makes me wonder if 2 weapons would even be enough. You can kill the 2 and then you have to wait to hope the... Difficulties. Difficulties in a Soul's Bane. If I can get a number... See, there's a bear here now. That wasn't there before, was it? Okay, this is just for testing. I'm not going to finish this, but let's see if we can figure out if this would be possible with 2 weapons. So, we killed the unicorn. It spawned as a bear twice this time. So. This isn't going to get us progress. This isn't going to get us through the quest. I'm going to fight this bear and see what happens. Because this is new information that no one's ever needed to know before. How does the respawning of the angry animals in a Soul's Bane function? It's more complicated than I thought, apparently. Okay, we killed a bear. Oh, unicorn's back. Was that here before? How did it... The unicorn... It didn't come back last time, though, I don't think. Let's keep an eye on things. Those things respawn when the rage changes? And it's always something else? What's gonna happen this time? There's 4 animals. And a unicorn spawned. Okay. Killing bears spawns unicorns? Question mark? That's my new theory. Anger sword. Fight a unicorn. If fighting this unicorn makes a bear spawn, that's a lot of data to say that maybe it's just going to be 2 weapons here. Kill the unicorn, a bear spawns. Okay. That's not conclusive, but it does feel like that could be the answer here. So that means we need the anger sword and the anger spear. So that was information that nobody ever cared about before. That's interesting. So we cannot continue this quest because we only have the sword. And killing the unicorns spawns bears. Fascinating. Alright. Well, that's still our item. The anger sword. But unfortunately, we guess can't complete this quest yet. So that's disappointing. But we just need to unlock one more item then to finish this quest. So now we move on to something else. Since our maple longbows were not tainted by the empty plant pot, they are free to be sold. Going a little bit under. They're not the most liquid, so we'll just keep those in there for that price. I'm fine with that. That's plenty of money to buy these handful of items we're about to buy. Technically, we don't need to buy this item. It'd be very easy to just go make it ourselves. But then we'd have to come back to the Grand Exchange, so... Starting with B, we're getting bowstrings. Nice value on those. And with that, we have unlocked crafting. 100 gold per bowstring. Made of the spinning wheel at level 10. We can go anywhere we want to go in the crafting skill. Making bowstrings. Thousands and thousands of bowstrings. See, we're selling the bows. This is working perfect. That's a whole nother money-making method here. Now, I don't think that stringing the bows is necessarily as profitable, or profitable at all. I might check, I might not. But we've got the bowstrings now, and that's what's important here. Because that unlocks the crafting skill. With that, we've sold all the bows. I'll be taking my money, thank you. With that, we have methods of training every skill except Hunter. But that's coming very soon. Now, making bowstrings all the way to whatever crafting requirements we end up needing, not the fastest. It's very easy. Very doable. Next up, another magical item. We're getting Chaos Runes. A good thing to be able to pick up, and a key item for an upcoming method that I want to unlock. So that is going to work out very much in my favor. I don't think we have really any need to cast bolt spells for the most part. But Chaos Runes, just a generally good thing to have unlocked. And continuing on that theme, and significantly more useful, I would say, Death Runes. With these two runes, that gives us a lot more options of magic spells we can cast, and items that we can pick up during Slayer, I suppose. Another good thing to have in our arsenal. And Death Runes, at least, are very useful in a few quests. So that's good. And now that we have unlocked the empty plant pot, we can make good on our farming profits and sell some jute fiber. Now the question is, we'll be able to sell all this jute. Also looks like it's gone down a bit. No dice. We're going to keep those in there at that price. With that, we might want to switch over to Yanillion hops for our future farming goals. I'll have a check to see if way more Yanillion hops are traded, because that might make them significantly more stable in price. And that would be useful to have. And lastly here at the GE, for right now, we're going to get ourselves a regular fishing rod. We're going to get ourselves a regular fishing rod, because that's going to be necessary eventually. We already have the fly fishing rod for actual fishing training. But the regular fishing rod is required for a few things. With that done, I want to get into some of this crafting we unlocked. Let's buy ourselves some flax. How much flax? Well, they're 2 coins each, so what's it matter? Let's just buy like 20,000. Ah, the limit's 13,000. We're gonna buy the limit. Give me 13,000 flax, please. Actively trade flax to me. Lies. Flax. All the flax. 4 coins. It might be twice the GE average price, but ultimately it doesn't make much of a difference. Whether it's 2 or 4, we can sell them for like 100. So that's still pretty good. So I'm gonna go spin some flax, I suppose. Get me some very useful crafting levels. I may have gotten just a little carried away with the bowstrings, because we now have 5,739 of them. Give that a nice price check, and that is 556,000 coins, so that's good. That got us to crafting level 48, so that should unlock quite a few quests for us. Very solid. You might have noticed, we're here at the Rogue's Den. And there's a good reason for that. We've had these marks of grace burning a hole in our bank for quite some time now. So I think it's time we finally make use of them. Talk to Grace, and I'll get the graceful top. This will be nice. This will be nice all the time. Run around with -5 weight. Good item to have. Very nice. We don't have enough marks of grace to buy a full set of graceful, but I had some empty slots here for things to start with G, so we're going to get a few pieces of graceful here before other things start picking up. But now we can buy a nice selection of items useful for all sorts of stuff. Starting with H, we're gonna get a Harlander potion unfinished. Necessary for a quest. Potential unlock for Herblord training if we go down that route. Because currently we're still stuck with attack potions. So, technically, we could do attack potions all the way to super attack potions, because we already have the Irrit potion unfinished. But Harlander might be a better choice. That could be a good stopgap for a little bit more XP than attack potions. We'll have to see how it goes. Next up, another very expensive purchase. We got this good pile of money, and we can make it even better by selling some of these bowstrings. That'd probably help, because this is going to be fairly costly. Also, I'm going to say goodbye to the Zamorak plate body. I have plans. I have plans. And most of the iron ore too. Why not? It's a bank sale today. It is a bank sale today. And let's be honest, we don't need this much tin. Or copper. We can store we can save 10 of each in here, I guess. Anything else we want to sell? I think we're good. We're good. So let's get some sales. We got bowstrings. We got a Zamorak plate body. Iron ore. Tin ore, which is more expensive than iron ore, apparently. And copper ore, which is slightly cheaper than tin. Not too worried about getting less money from these, so let's just get these sold. There is 8,000 coins, 57,000 coins, 48,000 coins, 39,000 coins, and 556,000 coins. So nearly 2 million cash. And that makes me feel a lot more confident in this purchase. nearly best in slot, useful in the money-making method that I have planned, and technically probably our best in slot, because we don't have very many things in that slot currently. We're going to pick ourselves up Infinity Boots. $746,000 coins for some really fancy boots. Previously, our only boots we had were yellow. So let's compare the stats here. Yellow boots give 1 slash and 1 crush defense. Infinity boots give 5 magic attack and 5 magic defense. So, in situations where we're fighting melee enemies, if they stab, it doesn't matter. If they slash or crush, the yellow boots are better. But if we're using or taking magic damage, the Infinity Boots are the obvious choice. And then neither matters for range. I don't know if enemies actually have stab slash crush attacks. I mean, either way, it's not a big deal. Probably just wear the Infinity Boots to look better. But then again, we're also usually using Void, so you couldn't see them anyways. But there's Infinity Boots. Very solid. Magical boots. Well, they're not too solid. They're very flimsy when it comes to melee and range defense, but still. Good to have, moving forward. The next 2 items are going to be less useful than that. When it comes to J, there's plenty of things, but none of them are too useful in the moment. So we're just going to bumble our way through here and purchase stuff. Here's a jade. We have a jade now. We couldn't really cut jade because that would make crushed gems sometime, and that's not unlocked. Also, that would probably cost a whole bunch of money. It might not. If you have an uncut jade and a cut jade, what are you looking at? 151, 271. So, guess it just depends how much you crush the gems. Either way, not a crafting method we're going to be using. And then K, probably even less useful. We're going to get Crandorian seeds. I have no intention of planting these. They don't make any money when you harvest them. The Anilian are way better. But it starts with K, and I guess that's all we really need to know. Starting with L, something a little bit more useful. We're getting a lockpick. Want some doors and chests and stuff opened? There you go. Useful in quests, useful in skilling. Opening stuff that we really shouldn't be opening. It's the lockpick. Not much more to say. If you look at our current food situation, it's not ideal. We're going to have more salmon once we do some more fishing to get a higher cooking level to not burn the salmon and then cook the salmon. But even then, our food options are like wine, tuna. That's just not good enough. So we're going to get ourselves a pretty decent food. Good enough for most stuff until we get to very high level things. It's the monkfish. A little pricey. But I'm not too concerned. If you compare that to something like carambwans, it's basically the same. These are also functional as the combo food, so you pretty much want both. Also, this is cooked carambwan, so. As opposed to just regular monkfish. Naming conventions. What do you know? Next up, another farming thing that's not really important. We've got the nasturtium seed, or nasturtium? It's a flower. So we're going to buy the flowers that you get from it. So now we're free to plant these flowers, I guess. Not that we really need to. But it's an option. The second of 3 items that's going to unlock our final skill. We're going to get ourselves orange feathers. We're going to get ourselves orange feathers. 22 coins each, huh? Might be a little bit of profit here in the orange bird hunting department. But I'll have to wait and see. No matter how good it is, it's not very good hunter XP, so we're going to want to unlock better things. But now we have the feathers. Or is it not the second? Maybe the first. Nope, that is next week. First out of 3 items. Orange feathers. Now, it's pretty clear what you need to go along with orange feathers to be able to train hunter. So those are very much in line to be unlocked. But first, another quest item to go pick up. We're going to exchange one item that starts with P for another. We threw the entire box in there. I guess it didn't matter. 1 box of poison fish food. Deleted. A whole bunch of piranhas. Deleted. Pressure gauge. Completed. That is one of the 3 items we need to finish Ernest the Chicken. The other 2 are on the cards. Already figured out when we're getting those. So that is going to be another quest coming to fruition very quickly. We're just going to pop this pressure gauge in the bank. We'll bring it back later. They have to expect that I'm just going to take all the important quest items and put them in my bank instead. That's how this happens. It's time again for Q. We can't get things that start with Q. That's Q. This has been 9 times in a row we have not been able to get anything else that starts with Q. We're working on it, though. We're working on it. Very slowly. But we're getting there. One thing we can unlock, though, is the second item to start training Hunter. Raw bird meat. If the orange feathers didn't give it away before, this should pretty much tell you what we're going to be doing for Hunter XP. I'm just glad that we managed to get the 9 Hunter from the museum. So instead of Crimson Swifts, we can hunt Copper Longtails. It's gonna be a lot better. Not having to start at level 1 Hunter. That's just the definition of success right there. Next up, we're going to make use of that Irrit Potion unfinished to make a super attack potion. But why buy a super attack potion when we could make it ourselves? Now, the obvious problem with that idea is that we would need to get to level 45 Herblore from level 16 with only attack potions. And as bad as that sounds, it's actually pretty much the cheapest XP you can get. So we'll just grab ourselves some Guam Unfinished. And by some, I mean 2,351. As many as that is, it's not too expensive. And similarly, for the Eyes of Newt, only get a few more of those. As long as this is going to take, it didn't cost us much, so. I will see you with this Irrit Potion, an Eye of Newt, and 45 Herblore. Well, that was easy. Making all these attack potions. But 45 Herblore is done. And that means super attacks. We can use these whenever we're training combat. Just a nice little boost. Also, it's decent Herblore XP. Better than regular attack potions, at least. If slightly more expensive. But for the increase in speed, it's worth it. We got a whopping 7k back from those potions. All of the value there is the Herblore XP. That's for sure. Next up, another big purchase. Very similar in price to our Infinity Boots. Also made of magic. Hey, look at spoilers, because we previously searched it. It's the Trident of the Seas. Full. We could have gone with the Trident of the Swamp, but it's a bit more expensive to purchase and to use. So I'm going to be a little frugal here and go with the Trident of the Seas. Now, we can't wield this, which is just a small problem. So I'm going to go do a whole bunch of magic training. Probably go with the Zricians. We can use the Infinity Boots. Those might help a little bit. And we got any gloves or a shield we could use? Guess we could just wear the Void Gloves. The Zamorak Kite Shield would give us defense, but it would also give us a whole bunch of negative magic attack, so that's probably not what we need. And as for where we're going to train, I suppose we could go see what our next Slayer task will be. Get at least something out of it. Or did we already get one? I don't remember. We don't have a Slayer gem, so difficulties. Anyways, I'll go see what we're going to be maging down. With our level 82 combat, we don't have access to Neve yet. Konar's tasks could be a little difficult for us, and high chance of accessing the dungeon there with the boots that we don't have. We can't go to Cheldar, so we're down here with Vanaka. There's also a good chance we'll get a nice easy task from him. So we'll see what we get. At least until we get another 10th task. Then we're going back to Konar. Lesser Demons. Not bad. Not bad at all. I can do that. That should work out very nicely. A solid bit of magic training there. Level 70. Also 39 Slayer. That is task complete. As far as loot goes, we got some stuff we get to keep, and some stuff we don't. I'm not sure if every task from Vanaka is going to be as good as this one for our training magic goal here. But we will keep at it. Not much in the way of loot here at the Ice Giants. But it's okay. They have a decent amount of health, at any rate. I came up here to White Wolf Mountain through the underground because there's nothing besides Ice Giants here. It was a little awkward until they became unaggressive, but then you could walk back and forth between these two areas, fighting these two. Worked out well enough. That is task number 12. Another Lesser Demons task. Another magic level. And a Slayer level. And a hit points level. Not too shabby. Also, I think we got level 83 combat somewhere in there. So that's pretty good. 2 more combat levels, and we can head to Neve. So that'll be something. Let's see what our next task is going to be. Cave Slimes. Abysmal magic experience, but pretty fast in the getting 4 Slayer points category, so it could be worse, I guess. Went through an entire anti-poison potion. Because my goodness, does regular anti-poison not last a long time. It's good for curing poison. But if you're going to be poisoned again, it's fairly disappointing. So hopefully we can get something a little bit better for task 15. I suppose that's going to be the end of Slayer for right now. 72 Harpy Bug Swarms. Now, I could cancel this task, or I could stop coming to Vanaka entirely because of all these problems from that. But I don't want to do that way. So what we're going to do instead is we are lucky enough to right now be in the process of unlocking something that starts with U. So we can get ourselves the unlit bug lantern. You need to be wearing the lit bug lantern to do any damage to Harpy Bug Swarms. So we've got the unlit, so then we're going to need to spend our next L next round lighting this, and then we can go back to Slayer. But I guess we can just finish things up right now. Realistically, I could just go train magic in a normal way somewhere else that wasn't Slayer. But that's how I want to do things. I can make this more difficult for myself if I want to. And getting more Slayer levels is good? Question mark? It's something at least. So we're going to wrap things up here. starting with V, we're going to get ourselves vampire dust. If we ever get a vampire task, I guess we could pick up some vampire dust. I don't know. It's got uses. It starts with V. What more can you ask for? For W, we're going to get ourselves some wolf bones. You need wolf bones. Later. We're just unlocking things that we need as we move along. And then X, we have to decide if we're ready to do challenge mode raids. No, we're not. Let alone 100 challenge mode raids, which is the requirement for the next X item. So, things that are not happening, that. So we can move on to Y. Now, probably could have kept one of the bowstrings. That would have been an idea. We can look at the different values of things here. Let me buy back one of my bowstrings. I'm merching myself here. 101. So we have a few different options when it comes to fletching training. We can turn the logs into unstrungs, or we can take the string and the unstrung to make a strung bow. Overall, making the strung bow slightly more profit, give or take. Really depends on the prices of everything. What I think I'm probably going to end up doing, just to make everything easier for myself, is buy the logs, make them unstrung, then make them strung. Because that way we have to deal less with the Grand Exchange. We can just buy ourselves all the U-logs we can carry, go spin some more flax into bowstrings, go through that whole process, and have a whole bunch of U-longbows out at the end. Also, I might want to check to see how much money we make by alching, because we might be able to get decent magic experience from that. Here's an idea. Let's bank all the money. How much does this alch for? That's what people buy these for, to alch them. So we can't lose too much. Put in here a U longbow and a nature rune. 688. Alch that U longbow. 768. So that's magic experience and money. This really brings me back. It was probably 2006. I would shop U-logs and go through all the process to alch U-longbows. We're skipping the chopping portion because that is by far the worst part of this. But I think we can get away with just kind of going at it here. That's a lot of different steps. Everything gives experience. It's all useful. So I think U longbows is going to be the way forward here. And lastly, starting with Z, to match our previous unlock from last time, We're getting the Zamorak Monk bottoms. If we had enough coins, that is. Get those. Zamorak Monk bottoms. Okay, that's fine. About 5,000. How's that sound? Sounds perfect. We take a look at the difference in stats for the Zamorak Monk stuff. It's got prayer bonus, so that's something. Probably our best in slot prayer bonus there. Significantly worse magic, though. That's something. That's something. Okay. So if we put everything back in the bank, we're at 6.77 mil. We unlocked some good magic stuff, higher healing food for instances where we probably don't want to bring salmon or tuna. Truly unlocked farming. Much better potions for when we get back to training melee stats. First piece of Graceful. All sorts of good stuff. We figured out what anger weapons we need to make more progress in a Soul's Bane. We made a very good decision unlocking Chaos and Death runes, because we managed to pick up a good stack of those. And preparations are being made for a new money-making method. Since we got the Graceful top, we have less marks of grace now, so they're going to contribute less to our total bank value. So currently they're only about 1.4 million out of our bank. So I guess that technically means the Graceful top is effectively like 400k. Not like we can buy the Amylase crystals, so that's not what it really means for us, but overall, some good stuff. And since I'm going to intend to be continuing doing Slayer, I guess these technically don't count as bank value, so that's what it really is. So we're going to have to trade these over at some point, but not right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my money, I'm going to buy some U-logs. And technically I can come back and just purchase the nature runes as I need them, as long as I have a few of them. So if we want U-logs, get like 1,000, 1,300. The more of these that we buy, the more we can do. So that's some more U-logs. How much do those buy for? History, 228. So buy U-logs for 228. Let's just spend all the money. All right. So my plan here, take these U-logs, cut them, spin the bowstrings, string them, alch them. That could be my answer to magic experience. So we might be using our super attack potions, doing some melee Slayer
Sooner than I thought. All that and more. Next time. Goodbye.